Hello everyone, this is Mr. Sultan giving you a little tutorial on dividing polynomials. So we have this question, we're trying to divide 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 22x plus 15 by 2x minus 3. So I'm going to use three different methods. So let's see. So the first method is going to be the long division method. So this whole expression is a cubic expression because the highest exponent is 3 right here. It's called the dividend. So this is called the dividend. And this expression by which the dividend is divided is called the divisor. And now we are going to start our long division. So 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 22x plus 15. Let's go ahead and divide all this by 2x minus 3. So when we look at the dividend, my first piece of advice to you all is to make sure you have the number of terms matching the degree or the highest exponent when you add 1 to it. So plus 1. So we know that this is degree 3 because the highest exponent is 3. Add 1 to 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Do I have 4 terms? Ask yourself that question. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, indeed, I have 4 terms in this dividend. And always you want to look for the descending order of the exponent, which means going from the highest exponent, 3, passing by 2, passing by 1, which is invisible, ending in the 0th exponent right here. And then what we do after this is we go to the highest exponent term in the dividend divided by the highest exponent term in the divisor. In other words, 2x cubed divided by 2x. Only one term divided by one term. You can ask yourself, 2x multiplied by what is going to give me 2x cubed? Or on the side, if you want, you can just perform 2x cubed divided by 2x. You know the 2 in the numerator will cancel out with the 2 in the denominator. X cubed divided by x. You just apply the division property of powers with the same base. All you have to do is keep the base x and subtract the bottom exponent from the top one. Or in other words, the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. So that will just give you x, and 3 minus 1 is 2, and that is the result. In here, we put it on top, so we have x squared. Now you are going to multiply x squared by everything you have in the divisor. X squared multiplied by 2x is going to give you 2x cubed. When you multiply 2 powers with the same base, you add the 2 exponents. Let's keep going. X squared multiplied by negative 3. Well, all you have to do is attach the number, which is negative 3, to the power here, which is the base raised to the exponent. So negative 3, attach x squared to it. And then what you do from here, we're going to remind ourselves, we're going to change the sign, and also just put a pair of parentheses here. And let's just perform a regular addition, a normal addition. You will notice the cubic terms will cancel out. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed would just be 0. X cubed or 0. And then 5x squared minus minus. Remember, minus minus is plus. So as a matter of fact, we're just adding 5x squared to 3x squared. And that would be positive 8x squared. Don't forget to bring down the x term from the dividend, which is the negative 22x. Now we are going to repeat this process. So we're going to divide the highest exponent term here by the 2x. So always we divide by the highest exponent term in the divisor. So 8x squared divided by 2x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X squared divided by x is x. And now multiply 4x by every term you have here in the divisor. What is 4x multiplied by 2x? Well, 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. X multiplied by x is, you're adding the 2 exponent, 1 to 1. Keep the base the same. 1 plus 1 is a new exponent. That's the second exponent, so 8x squared. And then multiply 4x by negative 3. Positive times negative is negative. 4 times 3 is 12. And don't forget that x. And here we go. Now we are going to change the sign. Don't forget that pair of parentheses. The 8x squared will cancel out. And then you have minus minus is plus. And then you have negative 22x plus 12x, or 12x minus 22x. I would keep the x, and remember 12 minus 22 is going to be negative 10. Don't forget to bring down this term, which is just a positive 15. Remember, x to the 0th exponent is just 1, and that's any number will be just multiplied by x to the 0th exponent, or 1. So this is just a positive 15 as a number. And then what you have to do, you are going to divide this negative 10x by the 2x. Negative 10 divided by positive 2 is negative 5. And the x divided by x is just 1, so we're just left with a negative 5. Now multiply the negative 5 by every term here in the divisor. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. And now we're going to change the sign here. So you will notice the x terms will cancel out. And 15, positive 15 minus positive 15, just 15 minus 15 is indeed 0. You can think about it as 0x plus 0, or just 0 if you will. And that is your remainder. So this is your remainder, is 0. And this is on top. All of these three terms is called your let me just make sure it's clear here. Quotient. Quotient. So what is the final answer? The final answer is going to be your quotient, which is x squared plus 4x minus 5, plus the remainder, which is 0. Put in parentheses here. All this is divided by the divisor, 2x minus 3. Since you are dividing 0 by a non-zero number, you know it is going to be just 0. So the final answer is just the quotient, in this case, x squared plus 4x minus 5. Let me box it. And that is your final answer. All right. How do you check this is a correct answer? Well, if you multiply the x squared plus 4x minus 5 by 2x minus 3, we hope we get that one. Let's do it quickly. All right. X squared times 2x is 2x cubed. 2x cubed, here it is. X squared times negative 3 is negative 3x squared. Keep going now. Plus 4x times 2x is positive 8x squared. So you have 8x squared minus 3x squared. 8 minus 3 is 5. And then don't forget the x squared. Here we go. We're done with the second term. Now let's go to the negative 22x, hopefully. Let's do that. So we have 4x times negative 3 is negative 12x. And then negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. So you have negative 12x minus 10x. You're adding two negative numbers, don't forget the x. Negative 10 and negative 12. So minus 12 or minus 10 is the same thing as just saying 10 plus 12 is 22. Don't forget the negative though. So that's negative 22, and don't forget the x in here. And finally, negative 5 times negative 3, negative times negative is positive. 5 times 3 is 15. That's indeed the correct answer. So this is the first method called the long division method. So long division in here. Let's go to the second method with the exact same question here. All right, so we have the exact same question. Method 2 is going to be the array. Let's just put the array, or some people call it the box division. What do you do here? Well, I'm going to create a box. This box will contain a number of columns and a number of rows. How do I decide? Well, go to the dividend. What is the highest exponent in it? Or what is the degree of this dividend? Well, it is a cubic expression with a degree of 3, which is the exponent 3. Add 1 to 3 will be 4. And yes, indeed, we have 4 terms. And that means we have 4 columns. So the number of columns matches the number of degree plus 1, or the highest exponent plus 1. The number of rows, go to the divisor. Again, that's degree 1, or the exponent is 1. Add 1 to it. That would be 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. That is 2 rows in here. And now what you need to do, go to the dividend. Go to the highest exponent term, which is 2x cubed. You just put it inside the first box with the first column and the first row. And then the divisor is going to go, instead of from left to right, like you see here, is going to go from top, 2x, to the bottom outside of the box. And now we are going to do the following. Going up, so go up, go around, go down. When we go up, you perform the division. So you're going to divide 2x cubed by 2x. Or ask yourself, 2x multiplied by what is going to give me 2x cubed? And the answer in either way is going to be x squared. So we're done with going up. Now we do the going around. When you go around, you just multiply the two terms that is going to go inside here, which is the negative 3 times x squared. That would be negative 3x squared. We're done with going up, going around. Now we do going down. Going down means you are going to do two things. Changing the sign of that, whatever you did the multiplication, positive 3x squared. Because the sign is negative, change it to a positive. Keep everything else the same, 3x squared. And then you're going to add its like term, which is the x squared term, in the dividend. Ask yourself, do I have an x squared term here? Yeah, visibly it's positive. 5x squared, do not change the sign of it and just perform a simple addition right here. 3x squared plus 5x squared. When you add two powers, keep the powers, which means the base and the exponent. Just add the two numbers. 3 plus 5 is 8. Now this whole term is going to go inside this whole box, which is 8x squared. And repeat the process. Go up, which means division. Go around, which means multiplication. Go down, which means changing the sign. And then adding it to the like term in the dividend. So 8x squared divided by 2x is just positive. Make sure you put the sign whether it's positive or negative on top of here. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X squared divided by x is just x. Go around, do the multiplication before the multiplication here. Once you perform multiplication, you're going to multiply this number by that term right here. So negative 3 times 4x is just negative 12x. Go down, change the sign of the negative. 12x, it will become positive 12x. And then you are going to ask yourself, hey, do I have any like term, which is the x term in the dividend? And the answer is yes, which is a negative 22x. So what is, let me just finish this. Okay, what is 12x minus 22x? Again, you're subtracting or adding, and then two powers with the same exponent. So just keep that power here. And then just deal with as a number, subtracting two numbers. Subtract 22 from 12. Or, in other words, 12 minus 22. What is 12 minus 22? Well, I like to think about it as 22 minus 12. 22 minus 12, I know it is 10. But I'm just reversing that. So that is needing the negative. So that's negative 10x. This is going to go in right here. And repeat the process. Go up, which means the division. Negative 10x divided by 2x. It's just negative 5. Go around, which is multiplication. Multiply negative 3 by negative 5. Negative times negative is positive. 3 times 5 is 15. Go down, change the sign. Let me go here. It's all right. From positive 15 to negative 15. And ask yourself, do I have any constant term, which is a like term, which is just a number in the dividend? And the answer is yes, which is positive 15. I'm going to put positive 15 right here. Add them together. 15 minus 15 or minus 15 plus 15 is going to be 0. I put the 0 right here, and that is my remainder using the array division or the box division. So here's my remainder. That leaves the whole top part that you have created, that one you've just come up with, is called the quotient. So how do you write down the answer? It's the same idea, the quotient plus the remainder. So that will leave you to x squared plus 4x minus 5 plus 0 over the divisor. 2x minus 3 is just 0. So in other words, the solution or the answer is just going to be the quotient, which is x squared plus 4x minus 5. You notice the answer here using the array division matches the answer here using the long division. And method number 3, let's start the third method. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. This is called the synthetic method, the synthetic division method, or just the synthetic division. Okay, many people enjoy this one, so hopefully if you understand it, you might use it. All right, the synthetic division. All you have to do, look at the dividend. Ask yourself again, what is the degree of that dividend or the highest exponent? Add 1 to it. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Do I have 4 terms? Yes. Are they ordered in a descending order? The answer is yes. You're good to go. Now use the coefficient, all the coefficients, which are the numbers on the left-hand side of the terms. Go ahead and do that for the dividend. So what is the coefficient of x cubed? Well, it is 2. What is the coefficient of x squared? Well, it is 5. What is the coefficient of x? It's negative 22. What is the coefficient of the constant term? It's just positive 15. So just organize them without the x's at all. Just put the coefficients here. Now go to the divisor. You're going to do the following. No matter if the coefficient of is 1 or non-1, it doesn't matter. We're going to follow the following. As long as you have a linear divisor, linear means x or 2x minus a number or plus a number, or just x plus or minus a number, you're going to visually see that number after the x is negative 3, right? Change the sign of that. The opposite of negative 3 is going to be positive 3. You're going to put it on the side. Don't put it on the bottom of those coefficients. Put them on the bottom left-hand side right here. And don't forget, you always divide that number by the coefficient of x in the divisor. Whether it's 1 divided by 1, you're not going to notice a difference because anything divided by 1 is 1, and you will just keep that opposite sign of this visual number. But here we have a non-1 coefficient of x, which is 2. This is going to be visual and clear. It is going to be 3/2. Now, go ahead and create a horizontal line. And now you are going to bring down this 2, and let's do the following. That's called the synthetic division. You do two things. Multiply first and then add. Multiply and then add. You always multiply by the opposite sign of the number divided by the coefficient of the divisor. So multiply 2 by 3/2. I know 2 times 3 is 6. 6 over 2, or 6/2, or 6 divided by 2 is just 3. Remember, you multiply first and then you add. Now you put the 3 on the bottom of 5 and then you add them. What is 5 plus 3? Well, 5 plus 3 is 8. Now repeat the same process. Multiply and then add. Multiply 8 by 3/2. You always multiply by that 3/2 for this particular question. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 divided by 2, or half of 24, is positive 12. You put it on the bottom of the negative 22, but on top of the line. So what is 12 minus 22? Or minus 22 plus 12 is indeed negative 10. Repeat the process. Multiply and then add. Multiply negative 10 by 3/2. That is going to be negative 30/2, or half of negative 30 is negative 15. Align it underneath the 15, but on top of the line. And now just perform the addition. 15 minus 15 is 0. Now you know that is the end. That means this is the remainder. I put it here with the lowercase because I started with the V. Here I didn't put that, so that's why the R is an uppercase in here. And now that leaves you with these 3 coefficients. What are they doing here? Well, that indicates we are going to have 3 terms. To subtract 1 from it would be 2. A degree 2, that means a squared, right? X squared. X squared will go here, x will go here, and then the constant will go here. So your quotient is going to be the following. 2, attach x squared to it. Always go in the descending order. Plus 8, attach x to it. Minus 10, but you always divide the quotient by the coefficient of x in the divisor. It's mostly 1, so you divide by 1, you don't see the difference. But hey, this is not 1, this is 2. You're going to visually see that and impact it in here. Plus the remainder, all is divided by the divisor. Now let's do it. You notice all these are even numbers. All these coefficients are even numbers. And one of the main property of any even number is it is divisible by 2. So take 2 as a greatest common factor. Just divide everything by 2 basically in the numerator. That'll leave you with x squared plus 4x minus 5 divided by 2 plus 0 divided by any non-zero is just 0. So adding 0 will not do anything. Now this 2 in the numerator will cancel out with this 2 in the denominator, and that will leave you with the final answer of x squared plus 4x minus 5, which is your quotient at the same time. Notice I put the V and the Q will be a lowercase, and that is your quotient. That is your final answer as well. So the quotient or the final answer. Notice the third method with the synthetic division had the answer of x squared plus 4x minus 5. The second method, so method number 2, the array division, also had the exact same answer, x squared plus 4x minus 5. And the first method, which is the long division method, also ended up with the same exact answer, x squared plus 4x minus 5. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, this is Mr. Sultan, and have a great day.